Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for popping in and having a little brew and cheeky biscuit with me. Today I'm going to be answering a question a couple of ladies have messaged me, and they've also asked it on our Lavinia For You group on social media, and that is just a few simple and easy tips of ways of adding light and shade to projects. Now these are a couple of new ladies to Lavinia, and so I'm just basically going to cover a couple of simple steps to get you on your way, ladies. Now, a couple of things recently have done a couple of YouTubes. If you haven't seen them, it would be worth going back to look at. This one, which was a calendar page. A few of the things we're going to incorporate today, I've actually added into this design. So it's nice that if you go back and watch this, you'll almost see a finished project, because today we'll just look at the little techniques. Also, another one perhaps to go and look at if you haven't seen it is that one that we did the other week on masking, because actually incorporated in the masking we did add some shade, and it does help to make this project look like the hats are actually 3D'd even though they are flat. I love the way that shading can help. So again, ladies, that might be a good one to go back and look at. But I thought the easiest way today to start off and explain this, just to show you, I'm going to come in first with a simple little design here where I've stamped one of our wild hares, and I've created a moon mask which I will go through in a minute. And we're just going to add very, very simply, so any creature you've got, but I just want to show you a little bit of difference here with angles. We want to ground our hare. So again, those of you who've been stamping for a long time, you lovely seasoned crafters that we have, you'll know this. So by all means, either take this on board or ignore it. So we're going to use graphite just to show you. I mean, obviously if it was a landscape, you'd probably want a green ink, but just for this. So this is one of our landscape masks, our hill masks, and I love these. We have mountains, and this just will give me an idea. See, I want to get it under. I should have done them straight, shouldn't I? But not to worry. What we'll do, we'll pop it under these two here, and again, I always take the ink off on the lid. This is just the graphite, one of our small stencil brushes, and I'm just very gently going to give myself, and we'll come this down here. Again, I'm just going to move that there to give me a little bit of, that's how you get round it, you see. That would have been too high, so I've just wiggled it a bit. You can do that, you get away with that. So I've just basically given them a little bit of grounding, and instantly you will see they look better. Now, one way of adding shade is to carry on with our ink and our stencil brush. And what we need to think here, and this is a very, I teach a lot of workshops, and I'm lucky to do that, but I have to have a simplistic view just because that's the way my mind works. And I always say this, I'm not art trained. So if there is somebody watching who is an artist and there are certain techniques, specialists here, I haven't got those, I'm afraid. I'm just coming at it from a crafter's point of view. So for me, in my head, the moon here is directly above number 1 hare. So for me, I know I want to add some extra shadow, and I know the shadow will bring the mask back, look. Pop it underneath his little bottom there. I know the shadow will be straight down. So again, I'm just going to come in and add, and this is just with the ink, that shadow will be straight down from the moon. Now, when I look at my next hare, he's at an angle, isn't he? So the rays are going to be coming at this, sorry, my hand's in the way, this sort of angle. So my shadow will be slightly towards this way. So we'll, again, pop this mask just under. Let's have a look, that one will be fine. Again, ink, and in the lid, and again, I'm coming under, but I'm just going this angle. And so there we've got our shadow straight and at an angle. Now number 3, he's further away and I've got more of an acute angle. So again, if I just pop this under, let's look for a good bit, there we go. I know my shadow is going to be under his bottom, but will actually be quite a bit this way. And that way, if you look at the 3, hopefully you can see we've just got that instantly with just that hill mask, little bit of ink, we've instantly added that shade. And again, we've just looked at those 3 different directions. And you'll find that by doing that, just that instantly can add such a difference to your work. So as I say, for me, that's just the way I just sort of visualise in my head those sorts of angles. Now what we'll do, we'll just take this a little bit further into our next piece, but I just need to wipe that here. And what I've done is I've just stamped up our Tree of Courage, the wild hare again, and the woodland ferns. Again, just to show you, if you're stamping a project, how we can add a little bit of light and shade to this. So I'll bring in that mask again, look, and pop it under the 3. That looks about right. We'll come in with graphite again. And we'll just flick under the tree, under the hare, and we'll go right along as we did. And we'll add quite a bit just to that whole area. Now again, for me, I'm just going to add a little bit deeper colour, concentrate under the tree, under the hare. There we go. So instantly we've grounded them. And as I say, these little brushes are perfect. So this is the number 3, they're perfect for that. So we'll wipe the hill masks. Now, again, just to add, while we're talking, there's other shapes, look. And I could actually add, I'm not going to add any more ink to this. Look, if I wanted to just add some little hills in the background, and again, I've not added any more ink. I'm hoping I'll just have enough to, there we go, give you an idea instantly. Job done. And it doesn't take a lot, and that's the beauty of, I love these masks. There is so much you can do with them. Now your circle masks, we've got different sizes. I think we'll go for that one. Little tip with these, add a little dab of like your Posca pen, because it just makes them easier. If you put it down and you don't know where it is, because believe you me, they do disappear. So let's add the moon. Let's just, where should we put it? We'll put it there, I think. Or should we put it there? It looks, yeah, looks nice there, just over. Oh, and it mirrors that shape there. Right, so we're going to go there. This time, Della Blue. Now you'll notice I've turned my work upside down. The best tip I can give you with the moon mask is always start at the bottom. So into the ink, always into the lid, blend some off in the lid, and always onto the mask first. If you go in with too much and you do a solid line, it's not as easy to get rid of. So on there, but if you start at the base, when you've got the most colour on your brush, you'll find if it's too deep, you can get away with it because that'll just look like shade. So once I've got some colour there, look, I've got less ink on here. I'm not going to add any because I think I'll have enough. I can come round to the top. Again, I've got less ink and I'm just going to lightly circular motions to just blend this colour out. So I've not re-inked, I've got plenty on there. And that way, I'll just pop the lid on and just show you, look, that way we've blended beautifully. And again, it is darker at the base, but that helps, again, to give that depth, light and shade. And I just turn mine upside down because it's easier for me to brush the ink away. So instantly, with just 2 colours of ink, a couple of brushes and a couple of masks, we've started to build up a scene with some light and shade. Now, if we want to add more of a shadow here, I've shown you how to do it with your ink, but we also have pastel pencils, and these are excellent for this. So I'm going to come in with my pastel pencil, and I'm just going to use a brown to show you. I'm going to lean on a piece of kitchen paper. So as we were saying before, this tree is sort of under the moon look. So I'm going to add some shade here. And because of that shape, I know the tree, there'll be a little bit of shade there, but you're going to get a lot of shade here because of the height of that tree. So pastel pencil, because it's pastel in a pencil, if you smudge it, that will help fix it, but also it does look more like a shadow. So we'll add a little bit more. And there we've got some shadow for the tree. Now to add some for the bunny, we're slightly that way, aren't we? So we'll put a little bit under here and we'll add, sort of, I'm thinking about the shape, he sort of comes round there, doesn't he? And his ears sort of go there and there. I'm not overthinking it, but I just want to add a little bit more shape to that shadow to make it look more that it is his shadow. And again, I'm just going to give it a smudge. And then for the fern, we're at this angle, so we'll have a bit of shade at the base there, but the shadow will be coming more this sort of way. And again, I'm just going to rub it and make sure it sort of tails off this way. Now this I can add a little bit more. I'm not happy with that. I want it sort of more rounded. And those ears more, that's better. And again, a smudge. So we've got that sort of straight down slightly and then more. And you see again that angle. Now, when it comes to the tree, we can add a little bit of shade, but I'm just going to turn it round because I want that shade at this side of the tree. So I'm just going to add, now again, you can colour the whole tree in, but I'm just going to add the little bit of shade. We'll pretend we've watercolour painted it in. And at this side, I'm going to have that shade. So can you see we've added the shade to the back. Now this moon or sun, it can be either. We've got moonlight or sunlight. It will hit the front of the tree. So we can either bring in our pastel pencils, but we can also bring in our watercolour pencils. And it's lovely this because whatever you've got, you can use. So if I show you, so with the watercolour pencils, I'm just going to go for a yellow. And I could just catch the top. And I'm not going to add water to this. I'm just going to use it as a lovely pencil. And again, I just want to make it look like that sun or that moonlight has just caught those branches. And it would catch the top of this one here. And I'm just thinking if it's shining this way, it'll catch the top of that. And then this front side of these. And the front side of this, look, all the way down here. And it's just catching that edge. Now if I look at the hair here, it will just catch the top of his head. That ear there. Could catch a little bit of the floor, look. Maybe just a little here. And then the ferns. It's sort of going to catch the top here and this side really. This one here, this side. As I say, and I'm not going to add water, although my watercolour pencils, I'm just going to keep it for that. I just want to add that little bit of, so if I lift that a bit closer, can you see how that's just catching? And that's enough to add that beautiful light. And if you've got the pastel pencils, you could come in if you wanted and just add a little bit more. And again, just smudge it. So if you've only got the pastel pencils, you could use that the same, just bringing it in and smudging. So I'll just accentuate it by adding a little bit more. So again, with the pastel pencils, you can bring in the white, and this is lovely to just add a couple of extra little. We can add a little bit of a fluffy tail, but just a little bit of white highlight look, and just a little bit to add some shape. So again, I'm going on this side here because I'm thinking my moon looking down. If you wanted, you could add a little bit of white to the ferns. You can add some around the moon itself to add a little bit more. And instantly you can see how that really does start to build up just a little bit of light and shade. Now, Posca pens are very good for this, and if you wanted, you could use, if you didn't have your pastel pencils, you could add a little bit of highlight with a Posca pen. And again, I'm using the yellow and I'm just bringing in. So as you can see, we have lots of beautiful products that we can add. See, look at that, how that really pops. Now it could be you want a little bit of the pastel pencil underneath and a little bit of Posca on top. Just use a combination of the products that you've got. We've also got our beautiful pan pastel, which I love to use, and this is the fine pearl medium, and adding that into the moon or the sun just gives a lovely glow. And again, especially if you do it at the top, and that just adds, that probably won't be easy for you to see, but that's just another way of adding. And then your last little tip, if you wanted to make it look even more 3D, you could come in with your pastel pencil and add the shade on this lower bit here. So a bit of extra shade on there. And even that can add. So this will go as the moon. As I say, you could use it as the sun, but for this one we're going moon. Add some shade there. That's annoying me, that bit. Just need to put some white over that. That's very blue. Often, if like that, it was very blue for me. So come in with your white and go over the top with your white, and it'll actually blend it as well. But I think that looks... So I'm hoping that's just a couple of very, very simple, I think, effective ways of adding light and shade. As I say, as we do other videos, we will include these in building up a whole picture. But for those ladies who are starting off, I'm hoping those simple tips will give you the confidence to add some shadows, beautifully build them up and add some of these highlights, just to make, especially silhouettes, makes them look just less solid, more realistic, and just add those beautiful highlights and also balance it off on the other by adding your shade. So I'm hoping you found that useful. As always, it's lovely to read your comments and have a chat with you about what you would like and what you think you would need to help your cards come on a little bit. And I'm so thrilled that I'm here to be able to guide and help you do that. So please feel free to get in touch and ask for other ideas to help. And as I say, maybe pop back and have a look at this. You see where we've added the shadows, we've added the light on this side and the shade here, look, where you would get shade in the little nooks and crevices, just to make these beautiful stamped images. Tracy has given us so much detail, but you can enhance it just by adding your own light and shade. So thank you very much for joining me. As always, I hope you have a lovely week. I've got a workshop this Saturday again, can't wait. Got some lovely ladies to see. Oh, Eric might be coming with me, don't know. He loves workshop time. Anyway, you take care, everybody. As always, thanks for your friendship and all your support on here. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.